Hey there, I'm Caden Rains and welcome to my basement. Today we're looking at a few smaller pieces of the amazing digital Circus merch. They are still toy adjacent, so you know, it still technically fits for this channel. And those are going to be one of the Animiniz collectibles that come in a blind box, as well as two of the All-Star collection, which are kind of Animini's, but they're even smaller, and you can get them at Walmart and Target and maybe some other places. I don't know. I found them at Walmart and Target. Let's start with the Animini, though, because she's the, I don't know, more expensive one. Okay, so there's a couple waves of Animini's that Glitch has done now. And the current ones are all about 3 inches tall or so, as you can see from my super awesome ruler there. And, you know, it's not actually the first wave or the first size these Animini's have been. I only have a couple, and I always get them secondhand, if you want to call it that, because I don't really enjoy blind boxes that much. The original series that they put out for murder drones had them being pretty small. Like here's V in comparison to Ragatha. Now, yes, she is on her, well, crawling, but look at how small her body is. So you're just not getting much plastic. And we're toy collectors. This is all about the plastic. Meanwhile, a more recent Animini's from Murder Drones is about the same scale as this Ragatha from the beach episode. I don't have any other of the Animini's from the Amazing Digital Circus, so I don't know if the first wave of them was small like the first Murder Drones one, but I believe that the costume one is the same general scale as this. So these are just tiny figures. You know, they don't move. They don't even always have a base the way this one does. It kind of depends on their pose and whatnot. So it's just a cute little collectible. Like I said, I get mine secondhand, and that goes for the V figures too, because I'd rather spend a few extra bucks to get the one I want than gamble for, you know, any of them and likely not get the one I wanted. I had enough of that when I used to do trading cards, where I would get pack after pack after pack, and they just would not have what I wanted. So if there's not a way to tell what's in a blind box before I get it, like with Lego, you can scan the bottom and figure out what the CMF is going to be, despite being a, you know, random chance. So if there's not that opportunity, which there isn't as far as I can tell with these blind boxes for the Animini's, then I'm not gonna order them wholesale. I'm gonna wait till somebody on eBay or wherever offers to sell me one at a slightly high marked up price. So like I got her for $6 more than the price of ordering it online. But like with Angel V over here, she was almost twice as much, and I didn't love that. But again, she's like she's considered a rare one, so I could have bought two and likely wouldn't have gotten to her. Yeah, some people did when they only bought one, but I don't count myself lucky like that. So that, that's my strategy for this. And sometimes people are just trying to offload them. Like, this one was, like I said, $6 whole more, 21 bucks, $3 for $3 or $4 for shipping. So in total, and it probably was less shipping than what Glitch would have charged me, because I've ordered a few things from Glitch directly, and it's not their fault they're in Australia or wherever, but it's a lot. It's been a bit when I've ordered from Glitch, especially if you're ordering things on pre-order or whatever. But that, again, that's besides the point. As far as the Animini's go, I think if you're doing the more recent ones that aren't tiny, then I think they're a fair price. I wish they were like closer to 10 as opposed to 15, but You know, people want them, and I obviously wanted at least this one. Uh, I might have grabbed Pomni if they had started cheaper, like closer to 10. I probably would have tried to get Pomni too. I probably it could without being too much, since she's usually one of the more common ones. But I also wasn't a super big fan of her pose in the beach one, so I just went with Ragatha. But yeah, so that's all I got to really say about the Animiniz. My strategy, if there's more of them, which there probably will be, because they've done several waves of them now. I think at least 3 just for Amazing Digital Circus. But that's gonna remain my strategy, is to get them secondhand, and just make sure you get, if you're doing it that way with anything, that you get it from a seller with a good rating. Um, I've never lost money, but I've come close to getting scammed or losing money before from like eBay. So I'm much more diligent in watching the sellers when I do use that service nowadays. But now that we've looked at this Animini, which, you know, it's, well, beyond its chibi style, it's just cute. I like it. I like the little horse thingy, floaty. And it's nice to have one that's a different pose and expression, because a lot of the Ragatha merch uses a very similar pose, and we're going to see that between today and another video later in the week. But I'm glad to have this one that's not that. So let's put her aside and look at the All-Star collection here. Now, these are blind boxes, depending on when and where you get them. From what I've been able to tell, at least in my area, at Walmart, they've always been blind boxes. No looking in them unless you're opening them. No seeing what's inside them unless you're opening them. However, at least in the first couple shipments, if you got them at Target, at least in my area, it was pretty obvious what you were getting, because they had this window, this cane-shaped window. And the thing is about these is that they have the same barcode as the ones that aren't, that don't have the window. You can compare them if you want. I've done it. And now when I see these at Target, most of the time I see the ones without the window. So I don't know what the thought process was there, because I probably wouldn't have picked these up if I didn't know what was in them. I thought about getting the Bubble one too. There's Bubble, there's the 6 or 7 main characters, Bubble and the Abstracted. So basically everybody you see on the cover, plus the Gloinks. I don't know if that was necessary, but they're there. So I think they just wanted a certain number, and that's what we got. So that's these, and the reason I call them Animini's like retail brand is because they're kind of in between the size of the 2 Animini's sizings we've seen so far. And that just, you know, it's like we have Animini's at home, the Animini's. So let's take them out of their packaging and see what they look like. All right, so here are Ragatha and Abstracted Kaufmo out of their packaging. As I was saying a minute ago, Ragatha is put in this pose in a lot of stuff, including something that we'll look at another day. But it's just sort of her default. Meanwhile, the abstracted form is, you know, it's abstracted. It's kind of just looks like that. And when I saw that one peeking out of the box, I was like, well, I need that. And then I saw the Ragatha, and it's like, well, I'm gonna get that too. Here's the list of all of them. Like I was saying, it's the main characters plus Kane, Bubble, Abstracted Kaufmo, and the Gloinks for whatever reason. They are, you know, fine. They're like $3 to $5. I think $5 is what they were, but I think I've seen them on sale as well. They Ragatha's eyes don't look quite right. I mean, they're not too dissimilar. It's something about the spacing on the little one, and the fact that her regular eye is kind of pointed off in just a random direction. But, I mean, it's a cheap little thing. The abstracted Kaufmo, you know, it's neat. It's also got kind of a space under there, so I guess you could make it a pinky toy. I don't know. I'm just rambling. Again, for like $5, if you just want something digital circusy, they're okay. They're I think that of these two, Kaufmo's fine, is the better one. I kind of regret not getting Bubble, and now that I haven't seen any of them with the window, I'm probably never gonna get him, and because that's not something that's worth me going to like eBay for. If I find them in like a secondhand shop or something or a flea market, maybe we'll talk. But on the whole, these are just neat little things. I think that the Animiniz is a slightly better use of your money if you really feel like getting a miniature, somewhat chibi figure. And you know, that's just my take on it. These aren't really going on the shelf at the moment. I have ideas for where to put them, but they're not action figures. They don't really fit in the scene we've got going in the background here. There will be some digital circus stuff that goes on the shelf the same way these others have, but we're not quite there yet. So for now, I'm just going to put these guys to the side until I do something with them later, and that's going to kind of involve the other digital circus stuff we're going to look at. So I'm sorry if this video came across as kind of rambling. It didn't. I had grand plans for it, and then I just sort of didn't like where those plans were going. So if you'd like me to do a deeper dive where I plan things out more directly and I don't just ramble the way I usually do, I actually put my thoughts into coherent words and sentences, let me know down below. I'd like to do that, but it's not something I think people expect from me. And I know not exactly, you know, tons of followers. I appreciate those of you that are here, but I don't know if that's what you're here for. Um, if you really just want to hear me talk about plastic, I'm good to do that. Anyway, though, I hope you had a good time in my basement today. Let me know down below if you have any Animiniz or any of these other little guys from like Walmarts and Targets and whatnot. And let me know if you like them, if you think that they're a waste of money, or if you're just, if you're Team Jax or Team Ragatha, or just Team I want to see where the show goes. Again, I'm rambling. This didn't go the way I'd planned. So thanks for watching. I hope you had a good time in my basement. I'll see you in the next one.